I'll sit down here by the chicken pen for a minute, checking on them, and I'm about to start another story time, but I thought I'd check on the chickens first. So they're wanting some scratch. They love their scratch grains, so let's go get them some, and then we're gonna start this story time. Just give them this is one of the, little chick feeder jar, can, or whatever, a plastic jug, whatever this thing is, and I just go in here and dump them some out, and they go crazy. Look at them. All right, let's get back in here to the barn so we can talk. So, my last story, I talked about my watermelon patch, and so that was when I was at home, in high school age, up to that point. That my childhood and high school years are all there at that house and around that garden, and a lot of time was spent around there. And then I ended up going to college right here in this town where I'm living now, here in Southeast Arkansas. The college that I spent 4 years at is just right across the highway, actually. I'm living really close to it now. And when I moved over to college, I really didn't know many people here. And, I'd lived over, I talked about it being Camden. Camden was my hometown there, and I lived there up until I was 18 years old. And then moved here, and it was just different, moving away from home. And I've been very active in my home church there, and love my home, and just had so much family around there and friends and church and all that. And so I knew a few people here that I was able to sort of get connected with, and got connected with campus ministry there on the campus at our college here. And that was the key for me. I wouldn't have survived if I hadn't got connected in with that campus ministry and all those people. Ended up getting connected in with the church that was connected with the campus ministry, and it's still the church that I attend today. I've really been a part of two churches my whole life, my home church and this church here in town. And really, it's sort of crazy to think, I've almost lived here as long as I lived back home. So it's sort of crazy. I'm starting to get that age now. I think next year I'll be, when I turn 36, I'll be 18 at home and 18 over here. So that's a little bit odd to think, but that's how it goes. So, but I moved here for college, and like I said, got connected in with a great group of people. But I didn't have a garden. I wasn't around that kind of thing. I'd always lived there at home where I had a garden. I had plenty of places that I could go and hunt and fish and do things, and I didn't have that anymore. I could go back home when I did, but it was a little bit over an hour away, and that's just a lot of driving. So I didn't. Eventually, I got connected in. I had a great group of friends here, and we started going hunting and fishing and doing things. And so that sort of continued me on to make me want to stay here. And so that was a huge part of my college time. Now, I met one of my best friends, and he ended up being my roommate. I met him really quick there when I moved over here, and I told him he was just an answered prayer because he had been here. He was a little bit older than I was, a year or two, and but he had just experience here. He grew up here, so he knew a lot of things, knew a lot of places, and so we got connected in, and we enjoyed a lot of the same things. So we hunted and fished a lot together. And then I was living on campus my first year and a half of college. And then I moved off campus into a trailer with him. Now, this trailer, I don't have a picture of this place, but you got to see it. A little single white trailer, 2-bedroom that we lived in. It was not like home, but it was home for a good number of years there. And anyway, we did plant, we would plant us a few tomato plants or something like that in a pot out front. We didn't have a real sunny spot there. We got a little bit of sun right out in front of the trailer there on the road, and so we would plant us some little cherry tomatoes, something like that, and that was my garden for a good number of years while I was in college. And while I was working in college, while I was in college, I'd sort of started working more volunteer for a professor on a little project, and then so a company called him, and they were looking for a student worker. And so he called me into his office and said, "Hey, this business here in town is looking for a student employee. You need to go out and talk to him." Well, long story short, I went and talked to him. Didn't have any experience, but they hired me anyway, and I started working. And I worked there for several years through college, and went straight on after college full time with them, and now I'm a part owner of that business, and or a version of the business. Is really a long story. I'm not going to get into all that today, but I say all of this story to get to this point of my story. The Lord has guided me. I truly believe that the God of the universe, He cares for us that care for Him, and that I truly believe that He has guided my steps to where I am today, from home to college, where I knew nobody, to a career and even an ownership in business, and it is nothing short of miraculous to look at how the hand of God works. And so my story today is, I've talked about my gardens and my raising, and that was my childhood. And then I get here, and I'm being guided by the Lord. I just never understood that until this point. When I start to look back, how I went from here to there to another spot, and then I'm at this college, at this place, at this time. That's nothing more than the hand of God at work, and I truly believe that, and I'm thankful that He's guided me to here, to my family, to our home. And I'm going to talk a little bit more in the future in my next video about how we got to where we're living right now. Again, that's more the hand of God guiding us, and I love our place here, and the gardens and this barn that I'm sitting in, and I'm just very, very thankful that He's guided us and guided my family and guided myself. So I'm going to close this video out. This is not a real pointed, there's no garden really in this video, but it is a part of my story, and I wanted to share that part, that just me getting to this college, one of these days I'm going to tell that story, but getting to this college and finding a career and finding a wife and all that is just a really, really cool thing to look back upon, and I'm very thankful for it. Like I said, this is more just filler, but I appreciate you that are watching these stories, and leave me a comment below if you have anything to add, and I will catch y'all on the next video. Goodbye.